Coming up on Tekzilla, it's a big, shiny, happy product day. PopBox, Droid X, Sony's NEX, armor for the iPad, and a stack of your viewer questions. So pop open the box you think has the pizza cutter inside, because Tekzilla starts now. This episode of Tekzilla is made possible by Dice.com, the career hub for tech, Squarespace, and GoToAssist Express. Support smarter with GoToAssist Express. I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Veronica Belmont.
Welcome to Tekzilla, hands-on reviews of the latest tech and how to make the most out of the gear you've already got.
Whether you're a beginner or tech support for your friends and family, if you've got a question about tech or the best fish market in Alameda, California, we've got an answer for you.
We do, and if we don't, we'll track down someone who does. It's a big food episode today.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it's a big product episode today.
Tacos?
Where are the tacos? I thought we had tacos. Do we have tacos for Ms. Belmont?
I want to know where the tacos are.
Tacos? Tacos for Ms. Belmont?
Holy crap, there really are tacos!
Happy birthday, Veronica.
Yay!
You've won enough tacos to give you heart disease.
Why did you let me have
phone
tacos
reception.
for lunch? I had tacos for lunch and they sat there and watched me order them.
You know, it's hard to surprise you. What are we going to do? Don't order tacos for lunch.
I know.
Because there might be tacos later.
Oh, you guys.
You go
Good
to
thing I'm going to
today.
Pilates after work, yeah.
Yes, we have chicken. What else do we have here?
What
There's
is
like 9
this?
tacos in each one of these. Oh,
more chicken.
More chicken.
I do like chicken. And more chicken.
More chicken. No carne asada.
Wow, that's awesome, you guys.
See,
Thank
we're
you.
even heart healthy, and there's lime.
Lime.
Lime. Here, you have a
Cool.
taco, and
Okay.
I'll get the show started.
It's gonna mess up my lip gloss.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's worth
sometimes you gotta deal.
You just gotta mess up
Birthday
your lips.
girl.
Thank you.
It's a big week for phones this week. We got a Motorola Droid 10 hands-on coming up, but the Droid 10 is the biggest thing going on at Motorola this week. Nokia Siemens bought Motorola's gear business for $1.2 billion.
Wow.
Here's the quote. Nokia Siemens is making the acquisition primarily to boost its position in markets like the US and Japan and gain access to new customers, but the deal will also provide economies of scale and synergies in areas such as mobile broadband. That was Chief Executive Rajiv Suri talking to the Dow Jones Newswires this morning on Monday.
I got chicken in my teeth.
You work on that. I'll do the next story.
Okay.
Meanwhile, technical previews of the Windows Phone 7 operating system are up on Engadget, PC Mag, and quite a few other places. I'm big on the Zune interface integration, not to mention the new Live Tiles interface. It doesn't suck. Seriously, Windows 6.5 mobile, horrible. One of the worst phone experiences I ever had. Sorry if you worked on it. We're going to see if we can get somebody to demo this one for us, because frankly, there's a lot going on, and I'm stunned by how far this has leapt forward from the aging 6.5 platform. We got links to those reviews up at Engadget and PC Mag, the technical previews, not reviews.
Yeah, and since a week without iPhone 4 drama is a week without sunshine, Steve announced that there'd be free iPhone cases for everyone last Friday. And Steve Jobs personally told the world that every company's cell phones had similar DeathGrip problems. Apple even had charts and graphs and pictures of incredible cell phone testing chambers.
Yeah,
Chambers of doom.
Chambers of doom. In response, just about every other cell phone company like Nokia, RIM, HTC, Samsung, and Motorola, well, I like how All Things D summed up all the press releases from every other company. Shut up, Apple. Deal with, everybody's like, well, here at so-and-so, we actually prioritize quality of service and use sound engineering principles when designing our phones. So
Yeah.
there's some nasty backbiting going on
It
in the
was
press
pretty
release
funny.
world.
Yeah, and if you suffer from iPhone death grip, check out Antenna Aid. Dig founder Kevin Rose is all over this custom-sized vinyl sticker for your iPhone 4, which, shockingly, is designed to fit over the lower left corner of the antenna. It looks like a little tiny Band-Aid.
Just like tape.
They don't say if it actually really works. They just say like, oh, it's kind of aesthetic, it's kind of a funny joke. But it makes sense because all you have to do is put some gaffer tape or any kind of tape over that and it helps.
If you, basically that's why they're giving away the free cases, if you cover this joint so that you don't death grip it. Look at that, absolutely nothing happened.
You can get in a whole bunch of different colors. They're nice and vinyl, they're really cute.
Yeah, you get like 6 for $5. So,
not bad.
You know, if you're feeling the pain and can't wait for your new case to show up. I don't know. I'm still more of the. I bought a bumper.
Incipio is actually doing a trade-in thing where if you send them your bumper, you get $5 off of your Incipio order.
Oh, good. So
if you want an actual decent case.
I'm going to trade my $30 bumper to get $5 off so they can profit the rest of the money on their cases.
Yeah, you're right.
No, I don't think so.
But
Besides,
still, but I would just buy one back anyway. Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
It's not a great deal.
I could sell this thing on freaking Craigslist for more than that. Anyhow, Boxee, by the way. Remember Boxee, the Boxee Box? They revealed video of the first Boxee Box from the factory. The very first newborn from the
so
series.
sweet.
Isn't that nice?
Speaking of set-top box streaming video media tank boxing, the PopBox is here. Woo-hoo! We actually have a physical PopBox in-house.
Yes, the follow-up to the Siava's Popcorn Hour Media Tank, the PopBox, is shipping from Amazon, which was kind of quite a shock, apparently, to the folks at Siava, since they expected it to ship later in the month, but apparently everything made it through customs faster than anybody expected. Here's the thing, though. Apparently, as near as I can tell, the firmware server for this was not properly configured. It didn't have the proper software configured, because people who got this very, very early on Friday, you basically order it like Thursday night, very late. People who got it Friday morning bricked their devices if they didn't have the included SD card snapped in. So let me go over the basic features inside of this. Everything seems to be, I basically waited until Monday and had the SD card plugged in. I had no problems. Basic box is $130 for Ethernet, has HDMI and component video output, has an optical audio output, and can accept input over the Ethernet network or USB ports front and back.
And it's like 150 with Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah, it's like 150 with Wi-Fi. It basically comes with a Wi-Fi dongle, a BGN dongle.
Not bad.
Yeah, but that means it uses one of your USB slots, so I'm not too stoked about that one. Digital audio output, stereo audio outputs. We fired up some non-DRM, i.e. there's no DRM coverage for this. I'm going to take the tiny little power supply out of the back. Videos look fantastic. 1080p. Ripped straight from Blu-rays, looked perfect off of a USB thumb drive. You didn't have time because it arrived so late, and I was so afraid to start it this weekend. We didn't get time to do any network-based testing. We did that on HD Nation. It's weird. You can't select which audio track to use if there's multiple audio tracks inside of it. And while we had a stereo rig connected to our HD TV for testing, a lot of owners, early adopters, I'm going to call them early adopters since there seem to be a lot of beta testing going on. And by the way, I bought this. This was not shipped by Siava. They have a Wi-Fi one that's going to come to us for eval. Like dropping center channels if you're doing 5.1 surround sound.
Weird.
Yeah, really weird. A lot of firmware stuff. I have no idea what audio files sound like off the PopBox since I can't actually get any MP3s to play on it. Though in theory, and since no one else is reporting this, I'm assuming it's a error between the remote control and me.
Or you could have just gotten a really early unit and the firmware just is being wonky and something.
Well, the firmware did update. Something happened. So in theory, it's whatever's available is available. This should have no trouble playing AAC, MP4, MP1, 2, 3, WAV, WMA, FLAC, or OGG audio files. On the video side, we're talking about XVID, 8.264, MPEG 2, 4, and pretty much any flavor, WV9, VC1. We did MKV files, we did 8.264 files, MPEG 4 files with no problem. Looked fantastic on the HD TV. And it's HDCP compliant, and what's kind of really cool is they're integrated, they partnered with IMDb so you can get your data scraped directly from IMDb if it can identify the files. The remote control is pretty good, it lights up. Rewind, fast forward, skip is far, far away from pause and play, which is a little crazy. And that firmware thing kind of comes out. Oh, I should also point out that along with the remote control, it ships with an HDMI cable, which I am all in favor of, since nobody ships with an HDMI cable. It seems to be a really good piece of hardware. The construction is solid, the 1080p video looks good, it's decoding powerful files or like big power sucking files, no problem. But the firmware that powers this is super rough around the edges. As in, it's hard to tell how good this $130 Ethernet media player really is. I mean, moving around, the interface is fast enough, which has always been a problem with some of the lower cost media boxes. There's no on-screen display or indicator marking the time in a file, or when you're fast forwarding or rewinding, it only does 4x fast forward, and basically you click on fast forward and things move faster, but you kind of don't know how much faster they're moving or where you're going to. There's kind of limited organization of the 8 display video pages. Those are surround sound audio dropouts we talked about. Blank screen and absolutely nothing if it can't play a file format. Let's say if you drop a Apple lossless file in there.
It doesn't even say file is not supported.
You just kind of get a big black screen, and it kind of sits there until you home your way out of it. Some of the home returns were a little funny, like it returned me to a different menu than I expected in the home menu if I hit the home button. No Netflix, which we expected. There's also no Last.fm. There's no Flickr integration, although there are lots of really cool applications that are available. But yeah, no Dolby Digital, no DTS. HFS Plus drives, i.e. anything running Mac OS X, are apparently having issues, but it won't see them at this point. And I gotta say, while I'm thrilled that Revision 3 has an Internet TV app in the PopBox, and that the box is expanded with these applications that you can download, I was really looking forward to seeing Netflix on another set-top box, especially one that was designed to easily stream your own personal collection. The PopBox was supposed to ship on the 23rd, so maybe there's an epic firmware update coming later in the week. Right now, though, the hardware is golden, but I'd say hold off on buying one until the firmware settles down a bit. We'll keep you posted.
Well, still to come, the Droid X, Sony's latest digital camera that we can't pry out of Roger's hands, and some live help via GoToAssist Express. But first, we'd like to thank Dice for making Tekzilla possible. If you're looking for work in the world of tech, then you need to check out Dice. Dice has the tech jobs to match your ambition, with over 60,000 tech job listings in every field and at every skill level. You know that big company you want to work for? Well, they're searching resumes on Dice. So if you want to get noticed, post yours today. Here, we'll even help you. This is a job posting from Dice that we thought sounded pretty cool. Northrop Grumman is looking for a network defense security engineer to work overseas putting together threat assessments of theater battle command systems throughout Afghanistan, protecting the servers. Really important servers. Not your cup of tea? No worries. There are plenty more jobs that you can check out at Dice.com. Dice has everything you need, minus the clutter. Tech jobs, tech tips, and tech talk. If it's not tech, it's not on Dice. He's a video editor by trade and app judgment host by choice, and has some serious love for experimenting with new cell phones. Welcome Revision 3's own Mauricio Balvanera.
Hi.
And the magnificent Droid X.
Forget about me. It's all about the Droid X.
Yeah, what do you think about it, huh?
It's great. You know, I was talking on App Judgment about playing around with the Evo and how much I loved it. You know, I'm an iPhone geek.
Yeah.
It's my primary phone, but I played around with the Evo for a bit, loved it. Deal breaker was the battery life. The Droid X, I want to compare it to the Evo because it's the same screen size, 4.3 inches. Kind of the same deal going on, except the battery life actually, it actually lasts longer than 24 hours. Which
About
is,
how much talk time?
Talk time, I think they rated it at, I'm not sure what the exact, so my non-scientific approach to testing the battery was just plugging it in and using it as I normally would. And the Evo lasted me maybe 10 hours max. The Droid X lasted me well over 24 hours.
Not bad.
So that's pretty good.
How does it pass the pocket test?
Yeah,
it is
the
kind
pocket
of
test.
Giant.
Yeah, so of course everyone grab a new phone, you put it in your pocket and see how it feels. It works out great. It's actually thinner than the iPhone, thinner than the Evo. It's a little larger. The bezel is actually a little. Yeah, check it out.
I have a case on mine, but you can still kind of see the size difference.
The bezel makes it a little bit bigger, but it's actually really comfortable to hold. Now, you're saying the pocket test. That's always the first test that you do when you're playing with new phones. The new test, I was joking around with Patrick, is does my thumb reach the opposite side of the screen? And that's something to take into account, especially girls who typically have smaller hands. Do you have to use two hands with it?
I have big lady hands.
There's a comfort factor there.
Not a problem for me.
Nice hands. Good.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you. So how is the Android 2.1 working out?
It's good. Now it's going to get Froyo later on this summer, but it's running sort of a. It's not quite Moto Blur. It's not quite this Ninja Blur thing they're talking about. I think Verizon just decided to put their own skin on it. I was playing around with it. I was comparing with the Nexus 1 with Brett, our cameraman, and it felt a little sluggish in comparison to the Nexus 1 running Froyo. But I think it comes down to sort of it felt more like a frame rate thing for some reason.
Really? Like juddery or
yeah,
jittery?
just a little, just kind of blurry on the transitions compared to the Nexus 1. Again, running Froyo. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this summer when it actually gets good old frozen yogurt on here.
What are some of your favorite features?
I've been playing with the panorama feature a lot with the camera. So it's got the 8-megapixel camera. Motorola put this camera feature on it that uses the gyroscope on the phone. So you take the first picture, and as you move around, it'll automatically take the next picture in sequence to create a panorama, which is fantastic. Automatically stitches it for you, and you've got some great wide images.
And it does video, of course, too,
as well. It does video, HD video, 720. Of course, HDMI out at 720. I've been hearing rumors that this phone actually does 60 frames per second on the HDMI output, which is a big deal because the Evo was, had issues. Apparently, they were capped at 30 frames per second. HTC says it was a hardware issue. They can't do it. They can't fix it with a software update. But apparently, the Droid X did it. So take that, HTC.
Yeah,
That's
not
weird.
bad.
Yeah.
So I understand that you are the producer of one of Revision 3's newest shows.
Yeah, so there's all these unboxing videos on the YouTubes, and I can't get over just people actually watch these things. It's as entertaining as paint drying, but obviously there's something there. There's a very voyeuristic kind of feel to it, and people actually
unboxing porn.
Yeah, people get excited about watching products get unboxed. So I did kind of the obvious thing, to me, was to do an unboxing and add a real sort of, 70s porn twist to it. We're just having fun. We're unboxing products. We love our gadgets around here, so might as well have fun with it.
Is this one of the ones you did on the show?
Yeah. So we started with the iPad. We're going to, at this point, it will be released before Tekzilla, but yeah, it should be out. Should be fun. Check it out.
Well, thank you very much for joining us.
No problem.
And of course, you can check out unboxing porn at revision3.com/unboxing porn. Coming up next, Roger and Patrick have a speed round of product reviews, but first.
Hey everybody, are you looking to publish your website or your blog but you don't want to deal with the nitty-gritty? Squarespace is definitely for you. It's a publishing system for anybody looking to build a blog, a portfolio, or any kind of website. With blog tools that allow iPhone updating on the go, hassle-free importing of sites from other environments, robust stats, and so much more, Squarespace makes it super easy for anybody to build and maintain a site that you could only dream of on other platforms. And if you have coding experience, Squarespace lets you delve into the code and customize things even further. Tens of thousands of people all across the internet have been using Squarespace for years, and their already great service is only getting better by the day. On July 14th, Squarespace announced a huge round of capital investment that will allow them to expand at an even faster rate. We want to congratulate Squarespace and are truly excited to work with such great people. Head on over to squarespace.com. You can score a 14-day free trial, and do yourself a favor, use the promotion code Tekzilla when placing your order. You'll get 10% off the lifetime of your account.
Looks like it's time for another website we just can't get enough of. A website that we just can't stay away from because it's too useful, too funny, or just too darn irresistible. This week's pick, WeTransfer. Our favorite new way to transfer large files is over WeTransfer. This free service lets you send files up to 2 gigabytes in size to anyone. All you need to do is enter in their email address, your email address, and a short optional message. Perhaps a warning that you're sending them that karaoke video from last weekend before they open it at the office. The files remain on their server for 2 weeks, and there's no registration required to use it. There are other services out there like WeTransfer, like YouSendIt and SendSpace, but WeTransfer has the added bonus of being really darn pretty to look at. Surprisingly, those awesome images are actually the ads that allow WeTransfer to operate. Not that you'd know it from looking at them. So if you've got a file that's too big for an email attachment and don't want to just fill out another ugly form for file transfers, check out WeTransfer.com.
Speed reviews, people. It's basically stuff we were curious about, we got in for review, and we want to share with you. Mr. Chang has a shiny new camera, Sony's NEX-5. Is this the smallest camera out there with swappable lenses? Isn't it just a micro four thirds camera?
No, it is not a micro four thirds camera. It's a micro four thirds like camera.
And it's Sony's response to Panasonic and Olympus.
Essentially, and what Olympus and Panasonic did was they teamed together, took the 4/3 standard, and they made a smaller version of it by removing the mirror mechanism in the camera. So taking an SLR and gutting it of the mirror. Everyone else says, hey, that's a great idea. We can make a small camera, a big sensor. So Sony followed up, and they introduced the NEX-5, which is essentially an APS-C size sensor, nice, which is much larger than the one on the micro four thirds, and they gave you interchangeable lens in much the same way.
No, basically, very small body, the same size sensor as on bigger and more expensive cameras, interchangeable lenses, 1080p HD video on that APS-C sensor. How's the picture quality?
So far, so good. I like it. I haven't been able to run it through my entire test because I've had to hand this back to the person who brought it in. But I'm liking it so far. I was kind of nervous because I thought it would be super nose heavy, right, because of the lens, but it actually balances out pretty well. I just need to experiment a little bit more depending on the variety of situations. Low light, I had not tried super low light. Want to try that. Video mode looks good. Of course, it is AVC HD, so you will have to decode and reintegrate it once you get it off the camera.
But that's the same as any other AVC HD camera.
Pretty much. So as long as you have that expectation. There is no built-in flash. It does come with an onboard flash. It is kind of on the low end, so in terms of guide number. So if you are using it, don't expect super bright, wide shots without using either an external flash or perhaps a wireless one.
And no rangefinder. It has the giant screen on the back, which folds out into
no view. Yeah, there is no viewfinder.
Mode.
This is as small and as compact as they could possibly make it, while making it a functional camera.
It's pretty impressive.
It is.
$699. Also, the NEX-3 is out there as a less expensive Sony.
Essentially, what they've done is take all the technologies that they've learned and developed, and basically putting it at a different price point, so they can, people who can't afford the $700 can go down. Now, what are you tapping on the side of your? What is that?
This is my very expensive iPad, which my toddler has been using to watch video and play games. This is the OtterBox Defender series for the iPad. It's a $90 cover because it is built like a brick tank. Basically, notice the screen that is still in one piece. That makes handling a toddler the expensive electronics a lot less traumatic. With the cover on, it's pretty seriously covered. It's really interesting, actually, the fact that there's a camera hole, a spy hole on this that doesn't exist yet. The buttons are all covered with rubber, so all the functionality is in place. If you wanted to use the dock, you slide off the dock cover. If you want to use the headphones, you slide open up the headphone cover.
Will this survive a fall, like if I had a stack of books and it slid off?
The first thing I did when I got it the other day was dropped it from 4 feet like that, and it did fine. This is it's multiple layers of protection. You've got the silicone sleeve on the outside, and then you've got the plastic on the inside. Notice the fuzzy inside the plastic to help protect the fit. You've got the Apple logo exposed, which annoys me. But once you've got it in place, they also include a screen protector you can put on to help keep the screen, which I think is a really good idea, because if you get grit trapped under any case, you can actually scratch the surface. It's a little heavy. It is not the lightest case, but you're also talking about a lot of protection for your expensive hardware here.
It is substantial. It is not.
If you want something a little less substantial, check out the OtterBox Commuter series for the iPad, $60, and it's basically 2 layers of protection, a rubber sleeve, and then the plastic oversleeve for that. Not quite as bomb-proof, but also not nearly as heavy.
Let me guess. Some assembly is required with this?
It actually goes together. Here, you tell people about the chip drive my key, and I will wrap this thing back up.
All right, the chip drive
It says it locks your computer, right? The truth is, it's more of a password manager and form filler.
Yeah, it's a password manager, but it's a password manager on steroids. So what you get is a box of software that you install on the PCs that you want to use this with, and you're given this little USB smart card reader, which ships with this little SIM card looking thing. And what it does is it stores and keeps all your passwords that you normally use. So your Windows login, anything you would say use for your bank. So Firefox, there's a Firefox plugin that comes with it, or IE, and it basically keeps a running list of it. So you don't have to remember to type in, whatever secret password you have for, Bank of America versus what you have for your email account. And once you do, you just have to punch in your user-definable PIN code that I have up here on the screen.
It's only 4 digits, but if you enter in the wrong thing 3 times, it destroys the SIM drive.
That is the big caveat here. You do not want to screw it past the 3rd one, because it's assuming that it's been stolen and people are trying to hack it. It will self-destruct.
Yeah.
The data will be corrupted and you won't be able to access anything. But say I have my passwords here on the screen, and I can just click on it and it will bring up. Bring it up.
I got to say that compared to the Iron Key, which is an $80 password protection sort of device, the construction is really chintzy on this one. It doesn't offer as many options as other form fillers, although it does support multiple profiles, which is kind of cool.
It supports multiple profiles. It does keep encrypted. My thing with these, though, generally is that it is a physical device that you have to keep on your person. So it does make it super secure, but as with all things that are super secure, also makes it less convenient.
Right.
So it is a balance. If you want something more convenient story in, you could use something that is software online web-based, but that does open you up to more chances of being hacked or stolen.
I think the software ones, it's weird. Like for the U.S. market, chip drive disabled the ability to secure the PC with the key, as in no chip drive, no logging in, period. No password. There's no chip drive doesn't have a password recovery option like Microsoft's BitLock or drive encryption. I like what Neil J. Rubin King from PC Mag said. Apparently, it's okay for European customers to get locked out of their computers, but not American customers, which I think is really so. It's essentially the not as hardcore version of a product that's. It needs work. Yeah, it needs work. It needs a better user interface implementation. It's still kind of kludgy. In my perspective, it's something that unless you're very familiar with the way your computer operates or how you operate with your computer, most people might just fly over their heads if they're not really going to stick with it. That said, it does it does manage to keep and store all your passwords the way you want, or at least the way I wanted to, and you can also keep bookmarks, and you can keep various, as you said, various profiles, notes and stuff. But I'm either going for like RoboForm or one of the big like the Iron Key, spending $80 on the Iron Key, because this is also this is really chintzy.
I'm worried less about that, but I also think it's overkill solution for what people actually need.
Right.
It's like driving an APC because you want to be in a safe car down the highway.
We got links for the chip drive, for the OtterBox Defender, and Sony's NEX in the show notes. Coming up, more viewer questions. Right now, though, Veronica.
It's time to thank one of our sponsors, GoToAssist Express. Providing in-person technical support for your clients or colleagues is expensive and time-consuming, but there's an easy, cost-effective way to do it all online with GoToAssist Express from Citrix. GoToAssist Express lets you easily view and control any other computer online, so you can quickly resolve technical issues without being there in person. Whether you're in customer support, technical consulting or management, or just a computer guru, GoToAssist Express will help you increase revenue, reduce travel and support time, and service more clients. Try GoToAssist Express free for 30 days. For this special offer, you must visit gotoassist.com/Tekzilla. That's gotoassist.com/Tekzilla for a free trial. Speaking of GoToAssist, we've got Deborah on the line. She's looking for some help with redirected searches in Google. Is that right, Deborah?
That's right.
All right, so we're looking at Deborah's computer screen right here via GoToAssist Express. Can you show us the problem on your computer right now?
Sure.
So what happens when you get to Google?
Well, I'll do the jam search, we did that before. So I'll click on, the first one, Wikipedia one, and it comes up just fine. But if I go back and do another one, for example. You can see that it's redirecting.
Oh yeah, it instantly happens.
Yeah, and it happens, I'd say, probably at least 85% of the time.
So you've done all sorts of antivirus searches on your computer just to make sure it's no malicious Trojan or anything running on your system?
Right, I ran the virus software and the malware and the spyware, and I even tried registry fix. I've tried it all.
So what I think is happening here is it might be an issue with a Firefox extension, and one way that we could potentially fix this is by actually running Firefox in safe mode. Have you tried that yet?
I have, but frankly, I can't remember what the results were when I did it because I've been trying so many different things.
Okay, well, let's open up a command window here. And all you have to do is type in, we'll get into the Mozilla Firefox section and then do firefox.exe -safe-mode. Run that there. And now we can try searching jam again. And this is going to take out all those extensions, so you're just going to get a clean running version of Firefox. So it shouldn't, if it's some kind of malicious script running in the background because of an extension, it shouldn't happen now. So as you can see, it happened again. What I would definitely recommend to do is completely uninstall Firefox, start from a fresh install, and that way you might have more of a fighting chance. In the meantime, also, you might want to download Google Chrome and beware of extensions that you don't know the origins of. Also, update your virus definitions. Thank you so much, Deborah.
Thank you.
Now, after we shot that segment earlier this week, we followed up with Deborah on the state of her machine. It turns out that Trojan was more annoying than we thought. Deborah had to download Java raw and uninstall previous versions of Java off her machine, and then ran multiple sessions of malware bytes and super anti-spyware. Interestingly enough, even though Deborah ran malware bytes and Spybot multiple times before, and both anti-spyware applications said her machine was clean, but when she ran super anti-spyware, it found 360 Trojans and other malware. So yay for super anti-spyware, and remember to keep your definitions up to date. And hey, if you want your PC fixed as part of an upcoming Tekzilla show via Go to Assist Express, then email us, tekzilla@revision3.com with Go to Assist in the subject. Yes, this next question of the day comes to us from Adam, who wonders if his Mac and his wife's PC can get along in his external drives. My wife uses a PC and I use a Mac. I want to use a single external hard drive where I can plug in each of our computers and have it back up both computers into separate partitions on the drive. What's the simplest way to go? Currently I use Time Machine for my Mac, but how do I incorporate using Time Machine and a PC backup program onto a single partition drive? Thanks, Adam and Irvine. So after a 10-minute debate over lunch, we decided that keeping two separate partitions on one drive for backup purposes wouldn't allow you the flexibility that you might need. The Patrick-approved method for doing this.
Patrick and Roger.
The Patrick and Roger approved method of doing this would be to use Mac Drive by Mediafor. You would keep your external drive as one partition formatted in HFS+. With Mac Drive installed, you can copy and read an HFS+ drive from a PC. Now be mindful that this may foul up some applications, so test it out with your setup first using the free trial version, because not all backup applications on Windows will work so properly.
Application A plus application B does not equal the intended result. So just check before you spend 6 months backing up and find out you've written gibberish to your hard drive.
Yeah. Now, if you want to back up to the same drive and continue using Time Machine, all you need to do is point your Time Machine to the backup there. Then create another folder on the drive separate from the Time Machine backups and use that to back up your PC data. I do that at home just to I have my Time Machine backups, and then if I have a lot of other files that I want to back up, I just make a separate folder.
Cool.
So, but you would be able to do that with the PC using Mac Drive.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you, I like having a single partition on the drive, maximum use of space. You know, nobody's likely to plug it into the wrong machine and go, oh, look at all this empty space in your drive, when it's just that your machine can't read HFS+, then format everything and destroy it.
Right, because once you partition, there's no going back. I mean, you could reformat the entire external drive, but once you make those two separate partitions, if you're using your Mac to back up a lot more, you're not optimizing the space.
Big partition on an external drive that everything in the house can see.
Yeah.
Which is kind of why I probably have like 6 Mac Drive licenses in my house at this point.
Well, it's good because the one license of the software is $49.99, but then you can get 2 for $59.99. Yeah, like 2 or 3. So it gets a little cheaper the more you get.
And there's a free trial, so check that out before. Basically, run your application using the free trial before you pay for it.
Yes.
That would be a good idea.
And double check your Time Machine backups to make sure they're actually backing up.
I have Time Machine paranoia. We were talking about that before, too.
Understandably.
Hey, we got one last email from Barry, who wants us to settle an argument with him. Or for him. He writes in, can you settle an argument for me?
Maybe.
Possibly. I was explaining to a non-tech friend about routers, including wireless ones, and that routers include a hardware firewall to provide security from online attacks to your PC. She said, oh, I have a Mac, so I don't have to worry about a firewall. She believes she is totally safe on the web because she's using a Mac. Can you clear this up for me? Do Mac users really need a hardware firewall through a router? If so, what kind of risks are they taking without a firewall between them and the internet? Barry in Vancouver.
Well, I think the main thing that is true about that statement is that Macs don't get attacked as much just because they're a smaller minority. Well, they're just not targeted as much because there aren't as many of them out there.
Right. If you write a Windows virus, you can get like 75, 85% of the computer using world, right? You write an OS X virus, you get like, depending on whose numbers, you're going to get 10 or 20% of the computer using world. Therefore, if you're going for scale, you write a virus to it, or a Trojan, or whatever your particular kink is, you write that to attack Windows. Is OS X perfect? First of all, everybody should have a firewall between. It should go from the route, basically the cable modem or DSL modem into a router with a firewall, or a firewall, then a router, and then to the rest of the PCs in the house, in case somebody who's on a Windows machine logs in case you have servers inside of your house that are vulnerable, or in case somebody somewhere sitting in a cubicle or in their dorm room gets really bored and goes, I want to see how many OS X boxes I can root, and then I'm going to put it on the front page of 4chan and tell the world, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Everyone should have a firewall. If for no other reason than in case somebody does write an OS X virus and runs it off your machine, you want to try to block outgoing information from that Trojan or virus or nastiness inside your machine so it doesn't get spread to other people.
Yeah, it's like even though you've parked your car in a relatively crime-free area, that doesn't mean you should leave the keys in the ignition. Right?
Yeah. No, that's actually a really good metaphor. Like hardware to software, OS X has its own firewall built in. You should keep it running. The router firewall adds a second layer of security. Plus it keeps, again, like I said, any other device network like a set-top box or your server or somebody's misconfigured computer that they never update down in the basement from being exposed to hackers or exposing itself to innocent machines. It might sound a little paranoid, but when it comes to jerks trying to mess your stuff up, having a firewall up and running it is insurance against that one time someone does actually make an effort at hacking into an OS X machine.
Yeah, good advice.
Everyone should run a firewall.
Firewall it up.
You. While you're all watching, we live on your questions, so email us, tekzilla@revision3.com. Tech help, product reviews, how-tos. You ask us, we'll do it. But we need those emails, people, so don't be shy. Send them into tekzilla@revision3.com.
Or even better, send us in a video question.
I miss video
I
questions.
know. We've gotten like one in the past 2 weeks.
Aww. Veronica, video question in the sunshine.
Yeah, just think of all the fun you can have and the admiration of all your friends and family when they see your mug on our show. Just keep it to 15 seconds, upload it to YouTube, and send us a link in an email with video question in the subject line. And as always, you can visit our forums at revision3.com/forum. Share your thoughts, insults, ideas, or comments with other fans of the show. Thank you guys so much for watching.
I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Veronica Belmont.
Till next time, you've been watching Tekzilla.
Tacos?
Tacos.
Taco? Taco, taco?
Tacos eaten. Set up for the top of the show, yeah.
So I am in 3 segments in this. I'm just not in the interview.
You're in more blocks
Oh.
than I am.
Oh.
Miss.
Okay.
What? Is there more segments with
No,
him than me?
Sure, I was just confused.
And Ian called me old, you little bastard!
Yeah, Ian is a little bastard. I'm going to beat the crap out of him.
Ian, it's going to be a rough internship for you. I hope you have excellent footwear, Ian, because that's where it starts.
That's where it all starts. Don't wear sandals.
Pro tip, don't wear sandals.
3.
Very awesome. Speaking of set-top box streaming video media, thank talk, blah, 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 blah. It turns out that Trojan was Pexier.
That was awesome. Had a really pexy Trojan. Yeah.
Roll it.
Okay, 3, 2.